just to change the top of the lineup. I know we've kind of talked about it briefly here and there, that you were kind of going through different decisions and what you were debating to do. What ultimately led to going with Mookie, leadoff, Shohei, batting second?
I think I just kind of came to a point in, looking at how things are going, where Mookie's at, emotionally, mechanics-wise, kind of all in totality. And I felt that, giving him a different look in the lineup, hitting him at the top, something he's obviously been accustomed to throughout his career, will put him in a mindset of just to get on base. And I think that just trying to take good at-bats, set the table for Shohei and the guys behind him. And I don't know how long this is going to be. Certainly I'll do it until Max gets back, and then we'll kind of reevaluate from there. But verse left, verse right, for the time being, I'm going to hit Mookie at the top and just kind of, again, hopefully it sort of lends itself to the mindset of just get on base and, build innings.
With Mookie, how much do you have to like bake in the track record, obviously who he is, along with obviously what you've been able to see out of him this season?
I think a lot of it's all of it. I think certainly the track record should weigh heaviest, but the recency, where he's at right now, certainly matters. And I just feel that a change in outlook could kind of, frame it differently in his mind as far as how he approaches each day. And it also speaks to how much faith I have in him as a ball player to, where he's scuffling, to not move him down, but ironically move him higher in the order. So I think that kind of support the different way that he'll see the lineup as it's presented each day will kind of lead into a different mindset. And I think that'll be a good thing for all of us.
When you talk about his mindset, and he was talking about, there's a lot of different cues and feels he's trying to find in his swing. Do you think part of it is he's gotten too much in his head, or just focusing too much on his mechanics, and this is a way to just kind of get him to go out there and compete a little bit more and trust himself?
I do. I think that I do, absolutely. I think that, which is natural, where, there's, with hitting, it's so kind of nuanced that there's not always one cue that gets a hitter back to kind of feeling normal. And there's a lot of internal kind of searching that goes on with the mechanics and things like that. But I personally do feel that the external part of it, hitting at the top of the order, having a mindset to get on base, I think will help move this along better. And the only way we know is we'll find out, once we do that for an extended period of time. And then I do think that the cues, the mechanics part, I do think that there'll be some fallout from that kind of external mindset of, hey, I'm hitting at the top of the order. My job's to get on base, set the table for Shohei and the guys behind him. And I think that'll lead to better performance, and certainly on the on-base side.
Is this some production this year? I mean, people are going to look at his age, the stage of the career that he's in. He's talking about things I've tried before just don't work the same way. Does it seem to you more like this is him moving into a new part of his career, or just kind of in a spot where everybody's body changes over time and you got to kind of figure out new ways to kind of get back to the swing?
It's certainly not an age thing. I know he's still in his prime. I know he's as strong as he's been in quite some time. So it's not an age thing. It's certainly a mechanic thing, some of it, where his body has changed, will continue to change. He just doesn't feel right and synced up. So there's a lot of moving parts to his swing. There always has been. So to kind of get those things all synced up is not always easy. But that's why we got to keep working through it. So, and if there's one person I know it's going to work, it's Mookie.
You ever get shows by him or run this by him, moving him down? Or
He's got no problem with it. Shohei will do anything that we ask, and he is all about the team, and if it potentially could get Mookie going, which would then get our team going, he's all about it.
Do you think this could be a benefit for him on days where he pitches too, where he maybe has a little bit more of a breather coming in after the first inning?
I do. And you know, it always feels good when he leads off a game with a homer or, you know, start the game with him hitting. But I do think that whether it's the day that he pitches or the day after, to be able to not have to rush to be that first hitter, I do think that there's some benefit too, yes.
How long have you been kind of considering making this move?
Probably the last couple weeks, something like that, probably 2-3 weeks.
Change subject, it's okay. With Clayton, you obviously see a different Clayton than we do, but he's always seemed throughout his career so serious, so focused. And he's smiling a lot more now. He did the thing in the All-Star game with the mic. Never would have done that in the past. Do you see a different Clayton, and do you think he's realizing this might be his last trip around the league and he wants to enjoy it and have fun?
Yes. Short answer, yes. He obviously, we don't know. He's the only one who knows, you know, what his fate is as far as going forward. But I do think that he is enjoying and enjoying each moment more than he has, because they are fleeting. And you know, when you're at the end, you better take them in, because you're not going to get those back. And so, from the All-Star game to, you know, days that he pitches, to the interaction with teammates, all that stuff, opponents, the media, he's kind of evolved, which is, I think, is a great thing, and all the while not losing the edge, the competitive edge that he has.
I know you expected him to be good, but did you expect him to be this good? I mean, he's your second best starter, you know, on the staff now.
Probably not, given how young some of our guys are, and as far as kind of the talent, the stuff that other guys in our rotation have. Not to slight Clayton at all, but it just speaks to the guy just wills himself to performance. And even when he doesn't have the best stuff that particular day, he does what's called of him each time out. He prepares like no other. And the game is certainly honoring him, how he goes about it.
How have you seen him adjust in the last few years?
I just think that he is adjusted as far as using his whole pitch mix more versus a glove side fastball, a slider glove side. He's incorporating a lot more pitches and trying to keep guys more off of a particular scent, you know, and kind of attacking guys differently. That's one thing I see.
On Mookie, one more. Do you expect pitchers to throw him different with Ohtani behind him? I mean, obviously you have good hitters behind him anyway, but is that a factor in this at all?
Well, I do think that having Shohei behind him, the best way to attack Shohei is to have nobody on base in front of him. So when you're talking about not walking him, you know, 3-1, potentially getting a better pitch to hit, 3-2, potentially getting a better pitch to hit. And Mookie hasn't walked much in the last 100 at-bats. So, you know, again, the mindset of just get on base, score runs. So that's to be determined how they pitch him. But, you know, having that guy looming in the on-deck circle should play a factor.
Are you starting to get a better idea of when Muncy could be back if, you know, if Mookie's in the leadoff spot until then?
I think a couple weeks, he should be back, something like that. So with a little fudge room on the front and back end of that. But taking grounders, taking swings, going to take lives, you know, go out on rehab next week. So, you know, next weekend, something like that. So next weekend, early the following week, something like that. So it's coming. It's coming a lot quicker than we had hoped or we expected.
Is Roki for another pen today? Is he getting closer to live?
He is. From what I understand, I missed his pen today, but touched 93, so the velocity's ticking up. He looks good. He used his entire pitch mix. So I'm sure that the pitching guys are going to circle up and figure out what's the next step. But today was a big step, again, for Roki.
The thought that potentially the live that Max is taking part in is going to be Roki's, or he would need more time than that?
I don't think we're there yet, so I'm not sure. Could be, but not sure.
What was Mookie's reaction when you told him you were going to have leadoff?
I wouldn't say excited, I wouldn't say disappointed, just kind of, and that's kind of the response I would have expected. He's just, wants to help us win.
With Mookie, how much is him playing a new position, adapted to the demands of it, maybe impacting how he's performing at the plate?
Yeah, that's kind of the question that I don't think we'll ever know the answer to. I do know that, yeah, I mean, it's a fair question, but I just don't see I really don't believe the correlation. He'll be the first to tell you that defense doesn't impact his hitting. He's always said that. But yeah, shortstop is a more demanding position. I don't think anyone can debate that.
Does him dropping 20 pounds forward make kind of fit in the similar bucket? Like you don't know how much that kind of has impacted his offense overall.
It does. It's fair. It fits in the same bucket. But the last month his weight's been back, and he's struggled. So, is there a recalibration? Possibly, but I just have a hard time believing that as we sit here in July that the March situation is the reason why he, on July, whatever it is scuffling.
You guys haven't considered moving him offshore, right?
No, not right now. I think he's our shortstop.
His bat speed started to drop last year. Is that still related to mechanics or something else going on?
I think some of it's mechanics. I think some of it is effort in the sense of being in between. And, if you're in between on spin versus velocity and counts, you're not as convicted. So then that speaks to what your bat speed is. You can artificially create bat speed. It's doesn't necessarily equate to performance. It checks a box on the bat speed, whatever it is, people track, but that can also be just an effort thing. So my eyes tell me he's been in between a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks.